YouTube Live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to YouTube Live. This is Dr. Tasha Toy, and this is Toy Talk, the summer edition. In a few minutes, we will record our show. And in the meantime, thank you for coming back to us, and we hope that the summer and the fall and the rest of your time with us is spent with happiness. See you in a minute.
Ooh. Looks like I may have to go back to Trader Joe's.
Ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Live feed. Mm-hmm. E1. Oh, no, no, no.
What happened? Yep, I knew it.
What?
Nothing. Just was trying to answer the questions that you were starting to ask yourself.
Oh,
Search for said answer. That's why we're friends.
always.
Oh, tubes.
Always. All right, and we're about to hit Facebook.
Ooh.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Facebook. It has been a moment, but we are back. It is Toy Talk. Give us a few minutes and we'll get started on our session. We hope that you enjoyed it, hope you learned something, and that whatever you learn, you share with your friends. Remember, caring is sharing, and sharing is caring. All right, Karen. In about a few minutes, we are going to get started. Not minutes, seconds, actually. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Hmm. Really? Really, really? Hate
Uh-oh. I gotta go to the. I'll be right back.
you got to make a run for it already.
Yes, be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you're on live radio, things happen. And a wonderful example of that is when your co host takes a run for it. You can only guess where she's going. While she's doing that, we're going to try to get our hot buttons situated so we can use them. How to do that? I don't know. I don't know. Uh oh. Uh oh. But it's okay. We're just gonna play it by ear.
All right. All right.
Cute dress.
Oh, thank you. I'll have to tell you about this experience too.
Everything with you is an experience. And I
Yeah.
love you for it.
It's a whole lot of life learning that has gone on in the past
Look.
few weeks.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it.
Mhm.
All right, you
Mhm.
ready?
Yes.
All right, let me get situated.
All right.
And trying to find the best place for this. All right, love. Let's get
Mhm.
this party started. Ladies and gentlemen, on Facebook, YouTube, it is now time for us to launch our show for the summer session in five, four, three, two, one. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, Dr. Tasha Toy. And this is Toy Talk. No batteries included. No, it's not what you think. It is about you can stand on your own perceptions, your own ideals, and this is the show to help you with that. And without further ado, always on the East Coast, sometimes called the other coast, is my co-host, my partner in crime, one of my dearest friends, Dr. Karen Reed Hendon.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy to be back.
And glad to have you back, love. How's it been going?
Everything is good. I'm in a good place and a good space,
That
celebrating a lot of great things.
I guess you have done a lot of things in celebrations. We'll talk about that in a second because that leads us to the topic for today. It is about change is good. And since we have been away, my friends, I have to say, I apologize. We have been traveling, we have been doing work, our other jobs that pay the bills, and that has taken us away from you. The last time we were with you was about 6 weeks ago. And that was a very good session. And in that time, both of us have traveled, we've met up, and we've also done some brainstorming of how we can be a better asset to you, our viewers, and our listeners, and how to make this podcast slash YouTube slash Facebook slash radio show the best that it can be, and to utilize your time, your resources, and your talents to the best of your ability. And with that, let's do some updates. The first update I would like to share comes from dun, 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 me. We have extended our time. The last time we were together, we were about 30 minutes. And if you notice, we had to rush through our session. So we decided and asked, and Sean was very kind to give us additional time for us. And we have gone from 30 minutes to a whole hour. Yes. So hold on to your hat, hold on to your whatever you usually hold on to, and look for more informative information, follow up information, and more ability, increased ability for you to engage with us. So without you as viewers and us as producers, editors, whatever we're going to do, we would not be here and putting the time in because you are that important to us. And in doing that, we want you to share and participate with us. You know our email, toy talk, the number two, you at the letter U at gmail.com. Drop us an email. Tell us how we can make it better and what topics you are interested in seeing on the show. The second part of this is our broadcast time. We are no longer going to be on Fridays. We are on Thursday. You get us sooner. Isn't that great? And that,
Yes.
thank you, Karen. Wait, come on, Karen. And that's a good thing. We were originally at Friday at 3 o'clock. Now we're on Thursdays. And so the two changes that we're sharing again is a longer format and a change in our broadcast time, and that is where you can catch us, learn about more about yourself, the world around you, and things that are important to you. Bef- the other thing, the final part of this discussion, Karen, is there any update that you feel that you want to share with us since the last time we've been together?
Absolutely. There are two big ones. The first one is I celebrated 8 years on the job. So I have been in my
Woo!
role as a director of diversity for 8 full years for my medical school, and that's just really exciting for me. So they keep letting me come back week after week. So that's always exciting.
The odds are forever in your favor.
Forever in my favor. And I've also had some small world experiences happen. So one of the students that I've gotten the opportunity to work with over the past couple of years,
Uh-huh.
he recently decided to attend Temple University for his medical education.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
quite exciting, only for him to tell me, you know, two of my cousins already, and they're there at your school.
What?
Right,
The
right.
cycle. The
Yeah,
cycle.
nice and small, nice and small. So really excited about that and having these young men go through medical education and me being both a champion and an advocate for all three of them. So that's really exciting. And then also I am celebrating 1 year of home ownership.
Ownership. Woo!
So, I was just telling Tasha a little bit earlier that I've started planting flowers in my backyard and I'm looking at paint colors and I'm moving things around. So, pretty exciting.
Yes, home ownership is you get your financial wealth. That is in an investment, and we should do a session on financial wealth, and I think we will, and invite some people that we believe that can really help us look at how that growth looks like, the resources out there, and to allow our money to work for us in our finance, and also talk about our relationship. I think that might be something that we will look on down the road on a larger scale for a month of your relationship with money, making your
Mm-hmm.
money work for you. What does debt look like? There's a good debt and a bad debt. And sometimes we just hear the word debt and we're like, oh my gosh, and we run the opposite direction. That's not the case. And we will probably explore that later on. For another part of this is Karen just shared that she has been in home ownership for a while, and she's celebrating 1 year. I'm coming on, I think June be the time that I got out of home ownership. Woohoo! It was it was a mature house. I'll just say that it was not. It was a lot of love. A 100-year-old house means that there was a good bone structure, but you just can't have a paisley wallpaper anymore. You can't have carpet on your hardwoods. We want them back. So
Right,
those are the type
right.
of things that home ownership talks about. Is it a good investment or a bad investment? In my case, looking to the camera loves, it was a wonderful experience and a good investment. All right. Speaking of which, we're going to transition to our topic for today. Taking a breather, loves. We are going to we as you can tell, there's a lot of change that has been going on. One of the changes, as we shared, is the change in our as in a long extended version, our placement. Karen shared some of her updates and champions and celebrations. I've shared one. I'm not a homeowner anymore, but we'll get back to that later on. But it talks about or is centered on change. And we're about to either you're about to start your summer, which is transitioning in a change from your academic year into your summer, longer days, more light outside, the ability to go outside and not have to wear every piece of clothing that you own because you're about to become a popsicle, an ice cube outside. And also of euphoria, and this is where the grass grows. This is where you have a little bit pep in the step, and that is why we're going to focus on change for today. My dear friend and the gap that we've had shared a story with me, and I'm going to ask her to share that with you in a minute, of how a change conversation she had with graduation. As you know, both of us work in higher ed, and in doing so, we at the end of the year have commencement, graduation, conference, but it also is a time for reflection and looking forward. And Karen had it in a interaction with a student where they had to have a heart to heart. So I'll turn it over to Karen. Share with us what that exchange was like and how we arrived at our topic for today.
So I believe that this was the conversation that I had with one of the students that I've been working with over the past few years, who, as of yesterday, received her white coat at the Caribbean Medical School, Ross University. And she
Nice.
was really challenged about going away for
Mm-hmm.
herself, because her entire educational experience has been right here in Southeastern Michigan,
Right.
going to undergrad here and graduate school. And she wanted to stay. And, but, between MCAT and how cost prohibitive medical admissions can be,
Yes.
uh, it just wouldn't let her be great. And so she's gotten the opportunity to make the move to go to Ross University. And she and I spent some time in my office talking about what this meant for her. So part of it was, me trying to get her to recognize that the goal is still the same, and that, you want to become a physician, but you're going to the medical field. And so it's the wearing of the short coat. So it shows that they are a student doctor, and that they're learning how, they're learning the ways of going into medicine as a profession and as a career. So that's how you're actually able to tell them apart from everyone else
Mm-hmm.
when you are in a hospital setting.
Good. Good. Now, going back to our original, picking up where we left off, you were talking about her transitioning, really trying to grasp moving to the next level of whatever her life is going to be, which is the white coat ceremony, Ross University. And where's that located again?
It's in the Caribbean.
Oh, which country,
Uh,
Karen?
um, I want to say it's the Virgin Islands.
But
Yeah.
she is leaving the cold, frigid, snow-laden place of Michigan, no offense, and moving to the Caribbean. That's not bad. But a lot of people say, "Oh, I want to pick up and move to the Caribbean." That's not bad, and I get an education, but that takes a lot of guts to say,
Yeah.
I'm going to pack up everything and change my entire environment and go somewhere new. Um,
Absolutely.
After you had this sit down with her, what was obviously she packed up and left.
Yes.
Looking over your shoulder, what prompted you in that exchange? Did you do some self reflection, and what did you come up with?
I did. I did do some self reflection, and I thought about
Cardinals.
how, and just thinking about what that looks like. And now that I'm in a different space in my life, being 40, being a mother, being an educator, what would that look like now if I decided to pick up and make the move clear across the country? And what would that look like for me? Could I manage the change that comes along with that? Because, you go from one place.
Wasn't I here sooner? Or they have a negative response to the journey. Yours is very positive. You
Mhm.
everybody walks their walk and then they get to where they need to get to, and then the
In order for how I react to it.
yes.
So I can either be mad about it and blame the world,
Yeah.
or I can take ownership of what's happened, chalk it up to a life lesson, and then begin to make the amends to not travel down that same road again. Try a new path.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes. I'm so
Yes.
glad that you said.
I think the main reason for it is because I needed to know that even if I put my neck out there and I risked everything, that I wouldn't be completely crushed without knowing that, there was support in
Right.
there. And I think that's a really, really important thing, especially when you fail, because failure is the other side of success. You need to learn how to fail and fail well in order to be successful. But knowing that often say, okay, you fell down, you have some challenges, but here's how we're going to get through it. It gives you that extra push that you need to move forward. And I recognize that there are some failures that people have that are absolutely important. Some they may say that, it's a failure to launch,
Yeah.
it's a failure to launch into adulthood.
Yes.
Uh, and, while in some respects it may very well be, but for others, they need to know that they can lick their wounds so that they can get back up and try again. That's the big part of all of it, that even if you fall, you have enough support that you know that you can get back up and try again.
True. Very, very true. And but the thing about it is, it's very easy for us to look at that change and taking those risks. But in a previous episode of this wonderful show, we talked about your committee. And what you're saying is, we talked about constructing your committee. We talked about the duties and responsibilities of that committee. But
Mhm.
it sounds like you are holding yourself accountable of actually being in the space with your committee that you surround yourself with. And
Yes.
I mean,
Yes. I'm still young.
I was about to say, depending on the day, I'm still young. Side note, side joke. I meant, and those of you who know your daughter, um, she's my favorite person because not did she your abilities to enhance or increase this change. We're gonna look at what those things are, both free and paid, but we're going to take a few minutes, like I said, and talk about and look at what it means to have your committee to work on your behalf and to listen to your committee. These are the things that we'll be talking about in the next segment. Can't believe it. We have a hour show.
I know.
Crazy bananas. We'll be back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are talking about change is good. And when we left off, we were talking about not only a young lady who is now my favorite person in the whole wide world, saying that I look younger than my spouse, but we were also talking about our committee and us receptive of that feedback. And when we were younger, we were always given nuggets of advice. We were giving words of encouragement. We were supported in one way or another. And are being, we have to be honest, when we were young, we really didn't listen to it. So now that we are older, we are really listening to those type of things, what our committee, those people around us that love us and support us are saying. And as Karen shared, we are that provides a safe place and the security to take risks, to try something new. And with that change, we are also going to, as we shared in the last segment, talk about experiences. I mean, another version of that. Do you want to share some perspectives or overview about self investment, which is kind of the tipping point with the discussion of your student embarking on her journey at Ross University?
Well, I think it goes back to something that you told me some years ago, which in that no one is going to invest in you better than you. And so whether that is personal development,
Yeah.
that is trying to step up your care for your health,
Yeah.
your professional development, you know what it is that you need in order to feel like you're on track for whatever it is that you were trying to achieve.
Right. Right. And I remember that conversation because we were trying to, I invited you to a conference
Yes.
and I was like, you need to come to the conference. And you very nicely pushed back and said, well, I can't afford it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have time. I don't. And you made up a long list of the reasons why you should not go to this conference.
Yep.
And I remember, I want to say it was a good 12 to 15 minutes of going back and forth with you. Every answer, every question you asked, I came up with an answer. And the
Yes.
more, and I could tell you were frustrated and mad with me.
Yeah. I was. Because who are you to tell me what my situation is?
You don't
But
know me.
yeah, you don't know me. You don't know my life, But when you said that and you begin to remove some of the barriers,
Yeah.
then I could no longer deny that this was a good idea. And while it pinched me for a hot second, because it did, it pinched,
Solid.
uh, it
Love you,
did.
girl.
But the growth that came out of that was exponential.
And it was twofold too. I mean, I'm an introvert. I know I'm hosting this radio show. I have another show coming up. We'll talk about that later on. And also, I do know a lot of people, and a lot of people know me. And I hope that my brand is very firm of being a person who's being receptive and open. But it's very interesting. I'm an introvert. Karen is an extrovert, and watching her work is magic. And it was an exchange. You know, having her there, she taught me just by role modeling what it takes to be a fantastic and proficient networker. So, I mean, so it was a twofold. Yes, I pushed you, but also in pushing you, I pushed myself because, like I
Yes.
said, I'm an introvert. I'm fine. I'll wait from a distance and keep it moving, or we'll do our transactional business. But what it was class time. You have no idea what you did for me.
Honey, thank you.
You're so welcome. So we both at the same time pushed ourselves because you know as I was giving you the answers to your barrier questions, I had to again gut check myself. And that
Yeah.
leads us to self investment. And the saying that I gave Karen, just to let you know, it I can't remember, but I think somebody said that to me when I came up with a long list of why I couldn't attend and invest in myself. And I was just like, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? And the person said, you know what? I was like, well, my school's not going to pay for it, which is the same thing Karen said. I can't get the days off, same thing Karen said. Um, you don't understand what's going on and how this is going to work, same thing Karen said. And the person gut checked me and was like, okay, I have given you one, two, three, and four. I have just solved your issues. I've solved them, but I can't solve every so often. I was like, you know what? Why does it just have to be giving myself permission to attend a conference? Could it be something as simple as carving time out of my life to learn a new skill?
Yeah.
Carving time out of my life to learn or read a book. or going on YouTube or trying something new. I'm an academe. Okay, that's wonderful. But is that the only thing that defines me? What are all the other things that encompass my life? Or when I look on the list of things that make me, is it something that I run towards or something that I shudder looking at? Which goes to, again, self investment. So
Yes.
let's look at self investment. We just shared one. One was attending a conference. But Karen, what are some
Mhm.
of the things, and you've done a lot, I would say, over the past year. Take them one at a time and let's discuss how you do self investment.
Oh gosh, it's been a number of things that I've done over the course of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of it has been a fair amount of just self reflection, but not just self reflection. It's been being able to work with a professional to talk through challenges that I may be having. So let me just put it out there and say that yes, on a regular basis, I go to a therapist. It is important for me to go to a therapist to talk through all the things that go on. And
Yes.
while I love Tasha and I sometimes lay a lot of things at her feet because I do,
You do.
it's not fair to her because she has her own things as well. So my going to a therapist, that individual allows me to say all the things that I have to say, and we are
Yeah.
able to dissect
Mm-hmm.
how I'm looking at things
Yeah.
and kind of take it into the next level. With that being said, just kind of keeping on the track for health, when she introduced me to the person who is now my new primary care physician,
Uh-huh.
and I began to exhibit um, uh, signature classic symptoms of anxiety
Uh-huh.
and depression, we worked together to create a plan for me
Mm-hmm.
so that I could not only work through it,
Mm-hmm.
but have successes despite it.
Right.
So that meant, not just going to therapy, but changing the way I ate
Yes.
and, taking medicine to help with regulation and
Yes.
all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference that it has made for me has been tremendous.
Uh-huh. It has.
And that was huge for self improvement.
And and Karen will tell you, and Karen had to come back to her her journey of mental health, stability and happiness and healthiness. And when she wasn't, as a friend, knowing that that was something that grounded her, she'll tell you. I was like, okay, when's the last time you've gone? Have you talked to? Did you tell them that? It
Yeah.
As a friend, I have to also know my limitations. I also have to know and support and encourage that self investment to another person. It's not all about me. And
Yes.
I real quick, Karen, I'm on my way too. Oh, okay. Or when's the last time you gone? Oh, it's been a couple of weeks. You need to go back,
You need to go back. Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know that you're making a breakthrough when the therapist says, it's been a minute since I've seen you. Let's talk about what's happened. And then you're talking about it. Light bulbs are going off for your person.
Yeah.
Okay, you have grown through this. Okay, you have managed to find a way to deal with this. Like, that's important.
Mm-hmm.
But that was huge. Like, working on the mental piece has also allowed me the space that I needed to connect more to the work that I do at work.
Yeah.
It has allowed me to figure out the boundaries with working with my daughter.
Yes.
And that, on the days that I'm with her, I do not utilize my computer so
Cool.
that I can be fully focused on her.
Yeah.
And the boundary shaping has been tremendous.
Mm-hmm.
It's been really important. Now, is this one of those things where if I knew then what I know now, yeah, of course, but you don't know until you actually go through it.
Right.
So I'm just really thankful that I do have such a good support system.
Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree. And please understand, we as people of color, most like we don't like to talk about. I mean, we talk about our feelings. We complain and we're upset. But when it comes to mental health professionals and utilizing their services, we're less likely to do that. And it's a cultural thing on the norm. And Karen shared hers, and I will share with mine that I use professional mental health services when I was transitioning in teens, and so I understand what it looks like and what it does. And when my husband and we did marriage counseling, premarital counseling from a professional and from our spiritual leader. So it
Yes.
is very anchored in what we do, and I do for me do that self investment of, wait a minute, he said we need to do X, Y, and Z. I need to hold him accountable, and I need to let go and do that growth for myself. Another part of the self investment, Karen, share with us your next one of what how you self invest.
So part of that is getting back control over things that brought me joy,
Uh
which
huh.
are also again tied to the mental and the physical.
Yeah.
I recently signed up again to do half marathon training.
Cray
So
cray, you are cray cray.
no, no, well, okay, yeah, uh, but
Ownership.
the thing about it is that it helps with creating a discipline. Thing that you need, like for me, running was the one space that I could go to where I wasn't being pulled on by my child. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't being asked ridiculous questions
Yep.
from people at work, and I could just focus.
Mm-hmm.
So that has helped. Um, which meant, taking into account the importance of getting enough rest and the importance
Yeah.
of learning all the things that I needed to learn to best care for myself in doing this particular activity. So, running, huge self investment for me. And the last one was the
Mm,
money.
uh, uh. I'll go back to running in a second, but go ahead. Go with your financial self.
So, the big thing about being the grown is figuring out how to spend, how to save, how to invest, and how to give away.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I purposely chose to sign up for an investment class that I took online. The individual that created the investment class, he is now my money mentor. So we talk pretty regularly. I made the choice to work with a small cap broker firm that's here
Mm-hmm.
in the city. I work closely with my accountant and my private banker because we're all invested on making sure that I'm doing the best that I can in managing my dollars. Like it's been a real 360 for me.
Well, uh, yeah, because we've had these
Yeah,
conversations driving in, and going back to the running, you are correct that your that you unplug. You unplug from time to time. That's
yeah,
cool. Working out. Um, I want to say for the last 2 weeks I've been working out. I was like, I don't have time to work out, and she's a workout phenom. She's like, well, why don't you work out in the morning? I said, I got to get up at the crack of dawn in order to put in the quality time and then come home, shower, get ready for the day. And she was like, and the problem about this is what?
right,
You just got to go to bed earlier. I tried the
right,
first time and I had the daggers of death in my eyes to everyone who was there. And it was not just one person, it was like 50 people who were working out at this time of morning. Craziness. And but you know what? Here's the thing. I know I'm no longer in that program, but it's something that I keep up. I try to get up by 4:30. Um, no later be at the house by 4:15 at the gym. getting it in by 4:50 because it's right around the corner, 24 hours. Put in a good solid 30 minutes of cardio. In addition to that, doing strength conditioning, because cardio is good for my heart, but we are women and osteoporosis and our bones are a little bit become fragile, um and to prevent that, because I do have a family history of that, I do weight training. And all of that together is about 45 minutes, and that gives me enough time to go back home and take my time in order to get ready. And that means I can shower and put on my makeup, and I'm not rushing to get out the door. By the time I go to work, I've been up for 4 hours and I'm ready to kill it. But
Yes.
that's
And muscles are sexy. So there you go.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And running. Okay, so I would like to give a shout out to a person in St. George by the name of Allie. You know who you are. We made the commitment that I am going to do a 5K Karen, which is flats,
Hey!
in October. I'm
Only
trying to
three
get my
miles.
cardio.
Be
I
fine.
know.
Only 3
The money management, I'm with you on that. We both said that 2019 was going to be our financial freedom moment of support. You said you did an investment class, and I remember you saying, "This is the best. I can do it at my own time." And you
Mhm.
shut down in order to really invest in it, because I need to get out of debt. For me, my relationship with it is I need to get out of debt first. Let me do this first, and I can get my breathing room on the other side. Not saying that I'm not, but I this is a
I'm working
prime
on it too.
it's a prime time of saying, what's important to you. For me, Brene Brown.
Mhm.
Um, I know some people are going back and reading Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones.
I just want you to know that as a part of my self care, I managed to watch all 7 episodes in about that 7 seasons in about a 6 week time span. It was such a hard emotional work, but I managed it. And
Spell. Tell me again. What's the hashtag? Spell it for the people.
hashtag D.
Crazy life that is ours.
Yes.
Hashtag Black dissertations. I would, but I you're right. It could be something as simple as that, because that's self investment. You
Yes.
are investing your time to do something that you enjoy, which is watching the Game of Thrones, or in our case, Scandal, also
Yes.
in there too. A time where, and a lot of people think self investment is where you're supposed to, you know, increase your money. You're supposed to increase your situation, your houses, your land, your property. But it could be something as simple as retiring, letting something go, get a rest. When was the last time, my friends, my loves, that you went on vacation?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I'm not asking questions about my daughter because I know she's
who?
safe with her people.
Who? I don't know. What? Your
Yeah,
mom?
I'm
I
not
didn't know
worried
that.
about work.
What?
That is a vacation. A,
Vacation.
a trip, you
Trip.
are managing all of it. You're managing details
What?
and you are still answering stuff at work.
Huh?
Did the baby get picked up from school and all of that?
Little
And
John
then
in it.
people say they need a vacation from their vacation. No, what they had
Yes.
was a trip.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you get up on your trip? I mean, on your trip, do you get up and choose your clothes for your day, because you are going to go to meetings and other engagements? You got to put on your armor. Is that a trip? Yes.
That's a
What's a
trip.
vacation? I may or may not shower. How about that?
Yes.
I
Yes.
uh
Yes. Yes.
I snored. What about it?
What about it? What about it? What you gonna do?
Mm,
But that's what
mm.
we're talking about. Yeah.
No
So
emails.
real vacation that is
No
on the horizon.
meetings. No, I'm gonna slip this in.
Right.
And then more the words of Karen. Say it with your chest.
That's right.
Vacation and trip Two different things. I had to
Two
learn
different
that.
things.
I learned that
Yeah.
this year because somebody who gave birth to me was like, "You're always traveling." I'm like, "Yes." What our vacation's gonna be?
Yes, absolutely.
Vacation time is the right time.
Absolutely.
Hashtag bye Felicia. The next thing, we talked about books. We talked about conferences, which prompted us on this road of change. Workshops. There are many different workshops. I would like to use the workshop as another one to slide into our next one, which is online. All of those things that we talked about is going to be what we call in higher education um, direct engagement or engagement, where you are face to face with a person. But there's something else. I mean, I'm a tech person, I'm an educational technology person. I love it to death when it works. And that is where we come up with our next one, which is your online options.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that prohibits in our minds, our hearts, our pockets, our experiences is that the reason why I don't do X, Y, and Z is because I don't have the finances. That's a lie. Stop lying to yourself. There are tons of things online that will teach you. And the first one for me will be hold on to your tookus. I like you put on your thinking hat. Pinterest. Yes, Pinterest. Pinterest, it gives you everything.
Yes.
You was going to
Yes.
say something, Karen.
So do you remember when you turned me on to Pinterest and you tried to make me go to? And I have been addicted to this thing ever since. But the
Yes.
development
Yes.
has been huge. I have learned how to make things.
Yes.
This is how I got into sewing as a hobby,
Yes. Yes. Correct. Correct.
gardening as a hobby.
Yes.
I have a whole little Pinterest page of things that I've tried and won.
Yes. And you have your sorority Pinterest board. I
I
go by it. I got one for my sorority. I got one for this podcast. I got one for a whole bunch books. Books I want to
yes,
read and people's
yes.
suggestions and stuff. So I mean, Pinterest is that spot. And the going back to the conference, me me sharing about gowns, evening gowns, everyday clothes, purses, handbags, hats, sunglasses, and jewelry for a
Mhm.
very simple price. And you receive it, you use it, you send it back in that order. And the
Yes.
reason why I brought that up is because when I brought it up, Karen was like, "Oh, long term, how often are you going to use them?" So, would you spend $30 right now? Well, I mean, both of us are in a sorority, and we have attire requirements sometimes. Everybody wear only white for this
Mhm.
evening gown event. That
Mhm.
means you got to go find this white gown, make sure it fits, and then wear it. Where
Mhm.
you may or may not next year, the color might be green or blue, and you have this
Mhm.
white dress just sitting there that you've paid anywhere
Mhm.
between 50 to $300 or $400 for, and
Yep.
it's your size. What do you do with it?
Yes. It just sits. I got
Or
a
you'll
white
give
dress in my closet right now. It's just sitting.
and so what do you do? It sits or you give it away, which you still not, it's still not an investment because you're still out of that money that you put forth.
Yes.
So, and that's where I am. I was like, that talk about money management, that is that moment.
Yes. Yes. And obviously there are going to be things that you're going to purchase that you're going to keep, like shoes, for example. I know for myself, I have at least a good 6 or 7 pairs of just black shoes. Meant.
And
Okay.
that's a tailor, not a tailor, okay? We're not talking about, Buki and Keisha and them on the corner who can give you a hem, a tailor. That means your hem came out.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube is free. And there are a number of individuals out there who are willing to share their secrets with you for free on YouTube. I would say first put your what you want to learn in there, how to, and then fill in the blank, and then it will come up. Look at first, is it sponsored and does it have ads? And then
Mhm.
second, see how many people have viewed it and what is the percentage of people who enjoyed their experience watching said video. For me,
Yeah.
I know my attention span is short. I look to see, is it concise. A lot
Right.
of YouTubers are not professionals. They're just people like me and you, and they ramble. I hope that we don't ramble for you, but they ramble, and it takes them a long time to get to the nitty gritty. So look at those things. Use that as a checklist on the YouTube to figure out what do you need to self invest in, and it could be something as simple as this, that, or the other. From the smallest things of I want to learn how to clean my bathroom better with all natural products that I can mix in my kitchen, to something as big as what Karen shared of investing in finance. But also remember, the disclaimer on all things is that you are taking this up, and that the people on the YouTube and other places are not professionals. So do seek professional certified help on anything that you see that you will be interested in partaking. I want to use that as the last piece of our time together and say, lovely Karen, it has always been a pleasure spending this quality time with you.
Yes, same here.
I hope that we can do it again next time with our topics, and that we have imparted some wisdom on each of us, from me to you, Karen, and from you, Karen,
Yes.
to me, and from the both of us to the both of you. If you want to see us in action, we are always on YouTube, Facebook, and we will be posting this on our own Facebook page. We are also on Spotify, y'all. So just know that if you miss any episode of Toy Talk, no batteries included, you can catch up, just like Karen did on Games of Thrones, at any time. Please
Yes.
share your videos. Say yes, say no. And again, Toy Talk, the number two, the letter U, at gmail.com. Interesting. And have a good day.